Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous dance baby.
And welcome to another episode of More Than Dance. Today we're doing something crazy, and Joshy's on our podcast today. Joshy, say hi.
Hi.
Tell them what we're doing.
Today, I am asking Krissy questions, and we're going to hear her answers.
You're asking Krissy questions, or you're asking questions? Because there's like a question that's like a type of question, and it's a Krissy question. And then there's like a question that you have for me.
I'm asking questions that I have for you.
Okay.
That I think would bring value to other dancers.
Okay.
What is the most satisfying thing about owning a dance studio?
Oh, I don't know any of the questions he's going to ask me. Okay. The most satisfying thing about owning a dance studio is being able to teach so many different types of people how to dance, and more importantly, how to find their confidence through dance. It's also really cool to watch everything grow and progress. When I think back to my first chair class. Actually, I don't know if you know this, but chair came before heels. We did chair with heels before we did plain old heels. So the studio opened in 2011. I started teaching sexy chair right away. It's just so cool to see the progression. So the studio is turning 15. There's a lot of things that have been very satisfying, and I could probably break into chunks satisfying components. Like, it was really satisfying when I first opened. I taught children, so it was really satisfying to watch like a whole show be performed, a whole recital, to watch kids go from like literally off the street. Like, I found my first students in the streets of Rhode Island. Like, I would walk around and I'd be like, "Hi, you look like you'd want to try a dance class," with a flyer. And I'd go up to them and be like, "Want to come take a class?" Or I'd literally go into parking lots and I'd be like, "Hi, do you have children?" And I'd be like, "Do you want to come take my class? Here we go." I'm fully aware that I'm like benefiting from the fact that I'm a woman like in this situation, because if it was reversed, I think that's like the double standard. The one thing that us women have in our favor over men is that we can approach children in the street. So watching like people actually come, and in a matter of months, there they are with a full-on dance costume, dance makeup, performing on stage with their cute little dance shoes. Like, that was awesome. But yeah, like what I was saying with Sexy Chair, we would teach that whole class as a fitness class. So it would start with basically bar work, Pilates work, and then it would turn into like a small routine, where now if you were to take that class, it's a warm-up, a very thorough warm-up that's dance-based, not fitness-based, and we learn choreography for the bulk of it. Actually, it's funny too, because Sexy Chair was always an hour and 15 minutes, and it would like roll over to like an hour and 45 minutes. Now that workshop is 3 hours and it rolls into 4 hours. So that's been a really cool progression, and just like knowing what's going to work and what will light someone up, either a song or a theme. And I'm actually someone who likes to reflect and review, so I do this a lot. There's so much growth when you own a business, and really like my whole adulthood has been owning the studio. So like I've grown up with the studio. So it would make sense that things would grow and progress and change. My students, watching them, my gosh, like the other day I was actually just watching them, and I told them this too. I was like, "Guys, you all made me like tear up a little bit," because I get to see them coming in with zero dance background. And even sometimes they'll say like, "I have dance background," but they don't have the dance background with what I'm teaching them. So it's really that I get to teach them from absolute scratch. Then they just develop. They really become a dancer, and they know that they are, and that's awesome.
What do you love specifically about teaching adults dance?
Oh my God, not being censored. I do not like being censored. I don't like being censored with my body, with my clothes, with my language, with my music. That was one of the hardest things with teaching kids, because I really do bond with children. Oh my God, yesterday, Josh, in the street.
This time a random kid came up to you. You didn't come up to them.
Yeah, that's true. This girl, she was like outside with her grandmother, and she's like, "Hi, how are you?" And we just had a quick conversation for about like 10 minutes. She showed me her boots. Yeah, I do bond really well with kids, but I don't get to be like completely me. And I think like the universe needed me to be this person for the adults that I get to work with. I think there needed to be spaces where people could be stripped down and be like completely themselves through an art form like dance. They needed a space to be vulnerable and to be seen. And it's almost like an inner child healing that goes on at the studio as well. But it's also so grown, which is such a beautiful part of it too. And it's so feminine, and like being able to be feminine and being able to be in a safe environment doing that. I mean, you can't just do that in the middle of the day. Like I was walking down the street taking a walk and I was wearing full on biker shorts that went down like half my thigh and just like a normal crop top, and literally like had a car like sharking me and like following me. So at the studio, it's just so nice because we get to be girls. We get to just have fun. So I love that.
What are some of the most inspirational transformations you've seen happen at the studio?
Well, there's so many transformations, but I think the biggest one is like when they find themselves and they know themselves so much deeper. So then they start attracting the life that they actually want to be living. So this comes with like kind of sad things as well. So like someone might start at the studio and then they're finding themselves and they feel so good, and then things drop off. So they might get a new job, they might get a divorce, they might say goodbye to old friendships. And so as a teacher, I get to hear all these stories from my students. There isn't anything that is off the table in terms of like what my students want to share with me. I'm so open to hearing everything about it because I do love that dance is so complete in that way. It's not just one fragment of us, it's our being that we put out on the stage and on the dance floor. So I do get the intricate stories of my students' lives. So yeah, we've had people go through sobriety, we've had people transfer their job locations to stay closer to the studio. It's just funny because it starts off like a little rough and a little sad, especially like when people are getting divorces, or it's because they start to realize things about the life that maybe they were living for other people. They weren't living for themselves. And a lot of times mothers will come, they'll get an opportunity to see themselves as a human and not as a mom. And it's always lovely when they start to see what I was seeing. Like it was there all along. They don't see it, they don't see it, they don't see it. And then that one day when it clicks and they're like, oh, and you can see like the glimmer, you can see the excitement, and you can see that they're really getting it. People building their confidence and then telling me like, I had this opportunity at work and I went for it and then I got promoted. Like, and me knowing that is because of like the work that we get to do on the dance floor. It's because showing up in heels and showing up with your awesome outfit and your hair back or your hair down, just being a complete bomb woman. It's so transformative. There's so much power in the stances that it would make so much sense that their life elevates and they become more fierce. They become bold. They become magnetic. They have more care for themselves and they have more priority towards themselves. Yeah, their dance moves are getting better. They're becoming better dancers, but literally their whole life is better. And I get to see that. It's the coolest thing ever.
How is dance able to really help me transform?
Dance helps anyone transform who is willing and ready, because dance, unlike anything else, is an art form. And it touches on all parts of the human, emotionally, physically, spiritually, energetically. There are different energies that we get to practice and play with. We get to play with our alpha energy, our omega energy. We get to be emotionally connected with musicality. We get to be spiritually connected with our movement and our connection with like how our brain is making the movement happen, and then the connection with that towards the music. It becomes so deep in a way. It's like we're naked and almost in this like, what do they call those things? Like those not vacuums. It's like tunnel vision. And it's like everything that could be a distraction is gone. It's no longer there because we get to be so hyper focused on one thing that provides value in so many different compartments of ourselves. So we get to practice being vulnerable and we get practice learning. When you're able to learn and you're able to be vulnerable, you've cracked the code on a bunch of different obstacles like perfectionism, worrying, anxiety. I'm not a clinical therapist, but even depression. Like there are these moments where it just goes away for a second, just so you can connect with your body and your movement. And it's through that repetition where you have that sacred time with yourself and sacred time with your mind and sacred time with your body separately at one time that the person's able to grow a different type of relationship with themselves that's more caring. It's a kinder relationship. It's more forgiving. It's more accepting. And it has so much more truth to it because the movement part of it is so real that if they were wearing any masks in the real world, those might be able to be lifted off. They still will take some work to get those off, but you'll get closer to the real you, your unique core self, and you ultimately create more awareness. And when you're creating more awareness with yourself, especially in a vulnerable state, you know what you want more and you know what you're bringing in more. So that means that you're more aligned. And when you can make choices from a more aligned positioning, you have more matches. So that means there's more manifestation capabilities. That means that there's more connectivity with the universe speaking to you. You might have more signs, more coincidental situations or opportunities that are happening right in front of you. You might build on the dance floor this boldness and this power that gets you to take more risks. And because you feel so comfortable taking risks on the dance floor with movement, you feel more comfortable saying yes to more opportunities or taking risks that would take you out of your comfort zone in the real world. And you get more opportunities to be uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, that's where the growth happens. So that's why we always say, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because when you give yourselves more opportunities for growth, you're able to find yourself and levels of yourself sooner. So it's not just one level that we're getting to. Obviously, that's the first level. And that's the first awakening. But then it goes deeper than that because there's more of you that gets to get uncovered. And there's more of you that's shedding. And there's more of you that's falling off. And that's why people will find themselves kind of saying goodbye to certain relationships when they start really getting involved with dance because they're seeing, I'm growing, I'm leveling up, and I want people coming with me. I don't want people dragging me down. If you could think of yourself as a plate and then you have a bowl, you might find that in your current life right now, in order for this plate to fit into this bowl, you might have to crack yourself down. You might have to break yourself down to fit into that bowl. And then what you realize when you dance is you're just going to get a bigger bowl. You don't have to break yourself down anymore at all. Being able to dance, yes, it's physical, but that other side of it is where the real true magic happens. And plus all the work that they get to do with mindset and reframing. All of that is so powerful in the real world.
What is your best recommendation for someone to start their journey of dance?
My best recommendation for someone to start their journey with dance is give it time and let it feel ugly for a while. Be okay with being so wrong and it being so cringy and start. I think sometimes, yes, the hard part is starting. Okay, we know that. But then I do experience people who do start and then they don't come back. And I don't think they're ready yet for the patience that you get to have with yourself to make all the mistakes and all the errors without judgment. So if you can let yourself learn and be so comfortable knowing that you don't know versus thinking that you need to know, it's not going to be the most fun process. It can be a silly process. Maybe it's finding the silliness in the ick. When someone's learning how to move, there's so much that goes into it. It's more than you could ever imagine. There's so much that we get to think about as dancers, which is so cool. It's so cool for me because, I get to teach it. And knowing that it's going to happen, I think just trusting that when you put in the time and when you put in the reps, it will happen. It's happening right now. I can see it with all my students, all my new students. Show up constantly show up, even when it's hard. You owe that to yourself to make that commitment and show up for yourself. All you gotta do is go and participate. It's not like you have to do it on your own. It's so much easier to just jump into the class and follow along. Be kind to yourself, please. Like, you don't need to be in the class and be mean to yourself. You can be in the class and simply say, wow, this is hard, and not let it mean anything about you. Not, this is hard and I suck. No, this is hard, I'm learning. Seeing like that end goal. Give it a real good, consistent, I would say like 4 months to a year before you really feel that little lever of like, ooh, I might be getting somewhere. Transformations happen. Got tons of transformations from the students who commit.
What makes you feel confident and qualified to be the one to teach other adults dance?
So much. One, I'm a dancer. I've been dancing since I was 2. I don't think I've ever missed a day of dance, a week of dance. I've studied so many styles of dance, and I'm a teacher. I am a trained educator, and I understand different learning styles. I understand different people, and I understand how the learning process can be, because I've put myself in those situations where I've learned brand new skills and become proficient at them. More than proficient. And I think something like within my energy is just very excited because I'm confident my students' transformation. And like when you're first getting going, like you need that excitement. Like you need that, like, all right, well, someone believes in me, and I do.
How long have you actually been teaching dance? And then how many students have you had over those years?
So I started teaching at a very young age. I was a helper, probably at the age of 12, but I had my own class like that year when I was 13, 14. How many students? Oh my God, well over 5,000. Yeah, I don't know.
How many hours do you think you've danced ever?
Oh my God. I mean, rough estimate. I got like 31,000 hours with that estimate. Probably more than that though, because I was undercutting it. I don't really know. That would be really cool. I wish we could see those stats. College, I mean, that was probably like way more hours than I just calculated. Are we counting also like dance, like when I'm going out and I'm dancing? Oh my God, way more. How many hours have I been awake? Like, I feel like that would be the way to figure it out. I love teaching beginners how to dance. There's 2 types of people who want to learn how to dance. They either want to learn how to dance for a certain occasion. They're getting married and they want to learn how to have a routine. And then there's the other person who wants to learn how to dance because they want it to be part of their lives, because they know that dance is magical. And I think that when people start to dance with me, they see how cool dance is. And I think they see like, this could be possible for me. And how do I access it? And I'm the one that helps them access it, because I'm already scanning like their learning style and figuring that out, knowing exactly what information they're going to know. The only thing they really have to do is show up.
What's your favorite thing about teaching beginners dance?
I love being able to give someone the gift of dance. Dance has been the best thing that has been in my life, the most constant thing, the most expressive thing. So to be able to give someone a constant. My studio has been in business 15 years. We have people that have attended the studio for 15 years plus, because they were my students before the studio even existed. So to provide that constant in the adulting world of craziness where everything can change, dance is the one thing that is change, but in a good way. What's changing is the choreography, the music, but there's something so still about dance and so grounding about dance that it allows someone to experience all parts of their life and be able to lean on like a best friend, a parent, a sister, and a life partner at the same time. Like, dance is everything. So much more than dance. I also just love like when they're really ready to learn, I love watching them make connections to either real life things like, oh, I do this when I do X, Y, and Z, or making connections between something that I told them like in a prior week. And then I love to just watch them like take the information in and then like really go. Like, there's no way to learn dance without like, come on, you got to do it now. So I get to watch them do their version of the choreography. I like to see where their like hiccups are to be like, oh, okay, they struggle with spatial awareness, or, oh, their lefts and rights are like mixed up. Like I like to have those findings and teach them how to make questions off of those so they can have better experiences with the learning process. And that's really what it is. It's teaching them how to fall in love with the learning process.
Good job, babe.
Thanks, Joshy. So this is the end of our we got to find a name for our little new format here. Getting Joshy involved with the podcast. Make sure you share this one if you want more of Joshy. And if you got value from this, it would mean the absolute world to me if you left a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Or feel free to share it, as sharing this podcast means that you're helping another dancer just like you on their dance journey. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the dance floor.